All right, y'all. So I'm a little late here. Hold on. Let me get this quiet. Okay. All right. So I'll probably do this or attempt to do it again tomorrow, since new moon energy is felt before and after. So we'll look into that. Um, but I was really tired. I'm still very tired, to be honest. But I'm just really tired. I really am. So, it was a busy day today. I had my mediumship class today, and I'm doing it at an earlier time than I normally do. So, I'm doing it at the 2 o'clock hour, and it went really well. It went really well. All right, so we're going to do some subscriber readings. Yes, no cards only. For those who are subscribers, members get a little more detailed of a reading. Hey, Becky. Put the subscriber only chat on. If you have a question, honey, drop it below. So, I'm gonna go ahead and I was updating the thumbnail to my live from last night. It takes so long to process. So I'm updating it. They have included this new AI thing that will create thumbnails based off of your video. This is how I've also been able to do the timestamps lately. I got to go back and start doing the other video timestamps, so that it'll be easier for me to find things, because there's a lot of "we already said that" and "it's coming true" that I need to be able to find. So things feel a little off though. Like, I don't know, July feels very, it really is like choose your own adventure. Like I said last night, it just feels very reveal one step at a time type of thing. So, like I said, we're going to do personal reads. I'm going to see if, Pearl is interested in doing personal readings with us. She may or may not be, we'll see. And if not, we'll just rely on the cards. We'll use our yes no deck. We have two yes no decks, so I'm going to bring out the other one as well, because whichever I feel, they've both been cleansed by the full moon. Hey, Susie. Girl, I did my mediumship class today. I signed up for the advanced one, and it feels like the regular one. So, oh my gosh, so far, because it was just the first day, and it was really intense. I'm going to have to start going on TikTok so I can make the money to pay off the class. So I'll be back on TikTok soon doing personal readings so I can pay off my mediumship class. But yeah, it went extremely well. I'm trying to think what was interesting about today. She said something I think I want to share with you all so that you can remember it too. A key thing that she said is patience is a form of trust. So today we were working on trust. That was our theme. She's doing it thematically by the week. This either this go round or this particular class. And so one of the things that I wanted to work on that I want to work on in this particular session is being able to sift the information from my own thoughts. Hey, Carly girl. If y'all have questions, by the way, drop them down. Medium memberships get a little more of a situational question, and subscribers get a yes no question. So if y'all have questions, go ahead and drop them down below while I'm telling you about my mediumship class. So I finally signed up for advanced mediumship, and uh, so we were working on trust. This is our week, our theme this week, and possibly next week too, because she isolates clairs for the first 6 weeks. So we were working on clear cognizance today. Just clear knowing for anybody who's never heard of clairs. Clair is literally French for like clear, and cognizance, that's brain, that's knowing. So clear knowing, which is you just know things, right? So I gotta adjust this bra. I never adjust the straps of the bra. But anyway, we're all girls. So, girl, I gotta make the money. Listen, that's on Afterpay right now. But that was a key thing that she said that I want to give to you guys, because one of the things that I received on a walk that I was doing a few years ago is that belief, because people keep faith and belief. Faith is belief in things unseen, right? And belief is is not required. To be honest, because belief is not required. Belief builds and belief strengthens as you do the work, right? So it's like if you tell yourself, and obviously I lied to myself today. I said I was going to come on at like 10 or 11, and we got home at 11. Oh, we went to see Moana, the live action. I'm glad I went to go see it. Y'all, it was so much funnier live action, because they added like these little quirky things that I don't think cartoonists think of. So the human added like some quirky stuff, and it was just funnier. Like I really, really, really enjoyed Moana, the live action. And as much as I ragged on the rocks on Dwayne Johnson's wig when I saw the pictures in the movie, I didn't give a shit. It actually worked. And it was just so good. In fact, I cried a little bit at this one, because there was just this human element. And oh my God, it like really explains the difference between artificial work, cartoons and CGI and everything, and the human being. Oh my God, it makes me want to cry right now, because it tells. I didn't know that I took this lesson from this movie, but I did. Like there really is something that reaches through the screen, human to human. It's like a spirit meets a soul, human to human, that just isn't translated in something artificial. So there was just like this quirkiness, these looks, this emotion that is transmitted in the human being saying exactly the same lines. My only complaint about Moana the live action, is they didn't have the little boy in there. The little boy who does a little, that he likes her. He was missing. I was like, this is like not having Janet in the Michael Jackson movie. Because I kept going, where's the boy? Where's the boy? Because he was just such a nice little added thing to it. But the movie did not disappoint. In fact, it surprised me. I loved the live action version. I would have been happy to have seen that first. I think it's truly worth going to see. I took my kids to the $5 day, because they have $5 viewings on Tuesdays. I didn't pay for it IMAX. I didn't pay for SDX. We just pay for regular theater, because geez, it's a lot of choices. And I wanted to pay $5 only today, because it's three of us. When you're a parent, things multiply exponentially. I enjoyed that movie so much. I enjoyed it so much. It was just really good. And like I said, I laughed. I had a little teary moment to hide from my kids so they wouldn't see it. Um, it was just so good. It was so, so good. Um, and you get past the wig quickly. Because like when you see it actually moving instead of just in pictures, it was like perfect. And they kept the CGI of the water, but they kept the quirkiness, you know, the little personality of the water. Um, and it just talks. Why do I want to cry? I have no idea. You know what? I do. My cycle's going to start at some point. It was due today, so it'll probably start tomorrow. Um, you know, I got that little 2 day window. Basically, I'm in perimenopause, so it comes whenever the heck it wants to come. During the same week, anyway. Sorry. I forgot I bought a second pair of these. I had got 2 pairs of these. Oh my God. And I found them and I was like, wait, you have an arm. Oh my God. I had 2 pair. I forgot. So this is perfect. I don't get the headache with this anymore. Um, anyway, so if you are going to see the movie, see it. Like I recommend it. I've watched Moana repeatedly in the 10 years. I can't believe it's been 10 years. But I've watched Moana several times a year ever since it came out. Like, I absolutely love that movie. And I was not disappointed. I was not disappointed at all. They pretty much stuck to it. I don't think they wanted a Lilo and Stitch, um, thing. I thought Lilo and Stitch live action was better than the cartoon. That's just me. Don't hate me, but I don't like the Lilo and Stitch cartoon. The live action was better and more believable because people are like, "Oh, she should have stayed with her sister like in the cartoon." I'm like, "And give up her own damn dream? No." And then on top of that, Ohana means family, or as they say on Threads, Obama means family, which is okay because he's Hawaiian, so you can say that too. But anyway, definitely go see it. It was worth it. It was just really worth it. There are no end credits. There are no mid roll scenes. They even had my crab. I love the song Shiny, so they even had my crab. Um, I really liked it. I just really, really, really liked it. I was not expecting that. I hope it does well in the theater because I think a lot of people panned it, but it was better than I expected. So I really liked it. I do plan to go see it again next week if it's still there. I don't know why Disclosure is not there anymore, Disclosure Day, because I needed to see that. I missed the first 20 minutes or first 10 minutes because I think the first 10 of that was actually trailers. But yeah, you guys drop questions if you have questions so we can get to it. Um, so back to the mediumship. So for anybody just wondering, I take classes with Melissa Farr. If you look her up here on YouTube, her account name is Mediumship with Mel, like just MEL, like all together one. And so she's a really fantastic teacher, really fantastic medium, because I've had a medium reading with her before. I was bawling the entire time. So, and she's one of those people who study her craft and she just gets it really well. I don't study much. Like I don't study outside of class. But she's one of those who definitely does. So she's got it down where it works for her. But anyway, so for me, like the zinger today, I think one of the biggest things to have learned was patience is a form of trust. Because for a lot of us who are late stage ADHD, not late stage, but late diagnosed ADHD, late diagnosed autistics, late diagnosed anything that's actually valuable in a true diagnosis. When you are coming out of a burnout or when you're coming out of a generation, those of us who are Gen X / early elder millennials, our generations were all about productivity. Like there were no naps during the day. There was no sitting on your ass during the day. And for people who are trained that way, they neglect their bodies, they neglect their signals. So a lot of us are dealing with, in this perimenopause age, our lives burning down around us, because once the masks fall off, and perimenopause will rip the band-aid you didn't even know you were wearing, and while you're going, ow, the rest of your world is falling. And if you think about it, because ADHD and autism, those things are hereditary. If you think back to our mothers, our grandmothers, they went through this. And I remember hearing stories of people saying, my mother became a raging bitch with menopause. And it's like, I see how now, because she had no tools, excuse me. She didn't understand her brain, and she didn't know what was going on with her, and she couldn't control her emotions anymore. And so when you know and when you have knowledge, you get better at it. You give yourself grace and you give yourself patience to become who you actually are. And it's a grieving process too when you finally get diagnosed. I went through all the stages of grief. When I say all the stages of grief, listen, all of them. What are they? I'm trying to remember. Okay. Oops. To the point where I created a word search book for late stage ADHD people. I'm going to tell you what this, I know like 5 of the stages of grief. But like, hold on. Stages of grief. Did I put page numbers in here? I did. 80. I need to do some more of these. Okay, so I like literally wanted to educate people while they learned or while they had fun, you know, because that's what we like. We like edutainment. So there's literally a section in here called Stages of Grief. And like I went through, when I say all of it, so it's what? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. And I think they said now there's like 2 more stages. But like the denial, I well, it took me 20 years to finally get diagnosed, right? So the denial was partially medical, like they were denying me. But also, 20 years ago, we didn't know what the hell ADHD actually was. And now we do have a better idea of what it is thanks to social media. Like a lot of people are like, oh, people are just now getting diagnosed. It's like, honey, these are people who were undiagnosed. Like literally, I'm in Facebook groups of people who in their 80s and their 70s finally learning and getting diagnosed and finally being able to take medication for those who are able to. And they're like, the grief is hard because when I finally got Adderall and I finally could have a thought and execute it, I can just go, I need to take a shower, and then go take a shower instead of going all day. I need to take a shower. 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 And then night goes, and then it's like, okay, let me go take a shower. Because I'm thinking of, you know, unmedicated, undiagnosed, in perimenopause, I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to get up. I got to find clothes. I got to get wet. And I love taking a shower because it's a spiritual place. You get downloads. I never want to leave. But getting in there is hard because I think about getting out. And when you're getting out, you're wet and you're cold, and then you got to dry off, and then you got to put on lotion because I'm black and we believe in moisturizing. And so, yeah, so all the things, and then you got to get dressed again, and then you're still cold, you know. So I'm thinking of, and a friend made me realize this. She says the ADHD brain thinks of all like 800 steps at one time, whereas the non-ADHD brain or the highly masking brain goes, I got to take a shower. And to them, it's just one, you know, it's just one thing. Like I would take a shower for work. That was easy because I'm not leaving my house dirty. So that was easy. But then when work was taken away, I was just like, I gotta take a shower, I gotta take a shower, I gotta take a shower, I gotta take a shower. Just telling myself over and over again. But it's like, after this, after that, after this, you know. Anyway, so when I finally took the medicine, I cried. After I took the hardest sleep of life. Because, matter of fact, the wall, you know, when you hit that wall of fatigue, that wall of fatigue was so hard, I couldn't fight it, that I had to go take a nap. And you know, again, I'm Gen X Gen Millennial, like right there in the cusp. So napping during the day was a no-no. But I took the hardest nap ever. And then I immediately got up and I Googled. I was like, I must not have ADHD, because people, when they take Adderall, they said that they'd be buzzing and blah, blah, blah. And like, people make Adderall into a party drug. I took Adderall, that's it, and it sent me to bed. And I was like, okay. So I looked it up and I was like, how come when I took Adderall, I went to sleep? And it said, because your brain finally got the message your body's been sending for the longest. And I was like, oh, that's what ADHD is. My body's screaming for rest. And my brain going, what's that noise? And then you take medicine and it's like, oh, I'm going to bed. You know? So, matter of fact, I didn't get to push live until I took my medicine. Like, I just took my medicine 30 minutes ago. And finally, I got up and went, okay, I'm going to go live. I've been in that bed for like 2 hours going, I'm going to go live, I'm going to go live, I'm going to go live, I'm going to go live. And then finally, I was like, you know what? I got to take my blood pressure medicine, so I might as well take my ADHD medicine at the same time. And then people go, don't take that medicine at night because it'll keep you up. Baby, that shit don't keep me up. It makes me go to sleep. I drink an energy drink to go to bed. Like, no, it does not do that for me. Lucky you, I guess. Anyway, so that said, after I Googled it and I found out, yes, you do have ADHD, Virginia. I cried. And I was like, this is what normal feels like? Because also, for the first time ever, in the longest of times, probably ever, I heard my voice. I knew what my thoughts sounded like. Where I had been hearing a freaking happy hour lounge my entire life. Now, here's the problem. I'm also a medium. So it's like, how do I know? And that was one of the questions I brought up today. That's why I said sifting is my thing. Because one of the ways I've been coping in my mediumship classes is to make sure I take my Adderall so that I can quiet that noise and receive the other noise. I take immediate release. I don't do the extended, because extended makes it where I can't hear anything. So I hate extended. So I do the immediate release because it's out my blood system and it just doesn't have the same impact extended does. I think extended is like, hold down all the fort. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I can't even dream on extended. So I cried because I finally heard my voice and I went, this is what other people have been dealing with their whole life. This is why people can just get up and execute. This is why people say it just takes discipline. This is what this is. And I cried so hard for the girl who heard her whole life, you're not living up to your potential. She needed help to live up to her potential. As far as to fit into this society, I don't honestly think ADHD is a bad thing. But I think in this capitalistic, European-centric society, it is, right? Because if I'm able to wake up whenever the hell I feel like waking up and work whenever I feel like working, I would be fine. Well, I have kids, so yeah, that part does need some help too. But I cried so hard. I cried. And then the grief I felt. And then I just thought about like all the business coaches I had, all the teachers I had, my mother, and it just hurt so bad because that younger me at every stage, child, teen, young adult, young mom. Oh my God, I didn't mean to cry. You can tell my cycle's getting ready to start, bro. But anyway, that younger me at every single stage of that life, she needed help so bad. And she thought she was, they make ADHD, executive dysfunction and stuff, they make it a character flaw, and it's literally not a character flaw. You know, it kills me when people are like, oh, if you're late, you're disrespecting me. I don't even give a fuck about you. I'm not even thinking about you. I'm disrespecting me because my plan was to be early. It's not about you. That's not even disrespecting you if I don't consider you at all. You know, as far as like how hurt and mad I feel about myself not showing up on time or leaving on time or whatever on time. So, and it just kills me when people are like, you're disrespecting me. Actually, you're a non-factor. How about that? Because I'm mad at me. I'm tearing me down. I don't need you to add to that. You know what I mean? So when I say I went through all the stages, I went through all the stages. And one of the things they don't tell you about it, since we're talking about this, nobody seems to have any questions. But one of the things they don't tell you about ADHD and finding out late stage ADHD, autism, both. I actually ended up having both. Plus being gifted, plus being spiritual. Like it's a bunch of shit, right? The thing they don't tell you about, which is one of the worst things ever, which brings me back to this patience thing, is the skill regression. And like I was somebody I lived on adrenaline, like lived on adrenaline, and that's what breaks your body down to do that. But I live by deadlines. I could eke out an A paper, the class before it's due. Like I would be in a computer lab typing that shit down and turn it in for class and get an A on it. Because, when you're good, you're good, right? So, and that's the other thing is like, because shit came so easy, mostly, it didn't feel like a skill. It didn't feel like a gift. It didn't feel like a talent. It just felt like breathing. And it felt like it's something everybody can do. So, when I lost that drive, because once I found out, girl, you're ADHD, you got to give yourself some grace and space. Once I started practicing grace as I went through the grief, I lost the drive. So it's like, oh, I have something due by the 17th. The 17th come and I still don't have it done. I'm like, well, fuck, it's not going to get done. And it's like, girl, that's not how we operate. So that's why I'm saying that patience thing that she said just like really resonated with me. So, yeah. So like, for instance, there's the denial. So again, people, if you even resonate with half of what I said, and you're over here, I don't have ADHD. Let me tell you, if you're resonating with half of what I said, not one, not two, but like three, four, five, chances are you do, you know? And like the first time I took an autism assessment, I came up as little to not autistic because I was so good at masking. And then after getting my ADHD medicine and realizing something's still not right, and I took another assessment, and it was like, girl, you are moderately to high. I was like, oh, okay, that explains it. If I could just do the things I want to do, then I'll be happy. But that's not how life works. Anyway, so, and that brings me to the spiritual aspect of it, right? So, like with the mediumship class, by the way, that book's on Amazon if you're wondering. The mediumship class, like I said, that was one of the biggest things that I took from it. Patience is a form of trust. And so, if you're a person similar to myself who is like, I don't trust what I'm getting, or I don't trust myself to do something, or I don't believe I have this or I have that, despite the evidence saying otherwise, you know what I mean? I think you're going to need to start trusting yourself more and having patience with yourself. So, anyway, the other thing that she had us work on today, and I think that's one of the things we're going to start with here, is we'll just do a new moon reading for the collective. So, one of the things that she had us starting with is what's here for me today to know as we think about clear cognizance. What is here for me today to know? Um, and I think that's where we're going to start here for our reading. You need help as struggling in my job, making it, getting by, but need the work and dragging your butt and working it like. But let me tell you something, Susie. One thing I know about those of us amazing girlies is our 60 is everybody else's 160. So you gotta have some grace for you now, babes. I think that's the biggest thing that I can definitely tell you going into this is like having more grace for yourself is one thing. I don't know, the sound just helps me relax. So we're gonna open that way. I already prayed before I got on here, but and I gotta take a shower when I get off of here. But anyway, so we're gonna start with that. Since you're one of the members, we're gonna get a little bit deeper here. What do your guides want for me here and now? And that's interesting that that's literally the question I just brought up here. Oh, shoot. Oh, okay. All right, so you got a few messages. I was trying to get you one, but okay, you got a few messages, my love. What was I gonna say just now? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So when I asked that question, and it's perfect to ask this question during class, during this new moon, because this new moon, oh, I left the book. I left my calendar book. Let me see what the new moon is about, I think, releasing. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why am I singing this song? I'm not even that Kelly. Okay, hold on. Let me look it up for you real quick before I give it to you. I'm getting a song for you. There is something that you must know. It's Gonna Rain by Kelly Price. Look it up. But these are the lyrics. Let's see. Okay, so again, the song is called It's Gonna Rain, but I just kept hearing there is something that you must know. There's something that you must know, right? So, again, it's by Kelly Price. So this is a lyric, starting with the chorus. There's something that you must know. There's something that you must know, and something you must know. Blah blah blah. So then it goes. There's something in my soul ain't right. Okay. There's something in my soul ain't right. I can't sleep at night, wondering when the change gonna come. I'm feeling that I'm not the only one. Tell me, now this gets into into a relationship, but this is bigger than a relationship. It's a relationship song, but this is bigger than a relationship. And so it says, tell me when I turn you off. Doctors say it's not my fault. All the neighbors stop and stare. My pastor says to stay in prayer. It will. That part I really don't think is important. It's this. It will rain. There will be pain. Troubles will come. Understand. Count it on joy. Morning will come. Sun will shine. Keep your head high. It also feels like this song is actually like you to spirit in a way. It's like, I need you to talk more to me. It's kind of how this is coming in. Like, I need you to communicate with me more. Because like I said, while it's a relationship song, I think this is a relationship with the spirit, right? So whatever you call it, right? I would say it's God, but it's whatever you call it. And it's like, it seems like you want to call it off. Okay. And it's like, I need answers, too much pressure. I don't understand you, too many issues. It will rain, it will be pain, troubles will come, understand. But it's like, count it on joy. And so I think this is where the big part of the message is to count it on joy. Count it on joy is basically count on joy. Like, even in the rain, find joy in the rain, right? Find joy in the journey. Because the morning will come after the rain, the sun will shine. Keep your head up, keep your head high, because God, spirit, whatever, will take care of you. So, like, that's something I feel like is a crux of this is needing communication of spirit, right? I think that's the biggest part here. So here are the messages for you in this new moon. That's what I was looking at. Duh. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little all over the place because my medicine doesn't work that well when the cycle's coming. That's the other thing I had to learn. I usually don't take it during this week. But, okay, so it's an emotional reset. Oh, I think one of you shared this video too. It's about home, right? Because Cancer, the new moon is home in Cancer. Cancer is what the moon is birthed out of or something like that, right? A water sign, whatever. And so this is about emotional safety, your inner child, and self-care. And so one of the key themes that I've heard several people talk about is home. So this is not about manifesting a dream house, but rather assessing what you need to feel safe and secure within your own body and your own spirit. Also, it's about reflection over action because we are in a Mercury retrograde. So we don't take new action during a retrograde, okay? But we do reflect on the action we want to take when it's over. You can do that. Again, journaling, space clearing, grounding. But the other thing too is the emotional reset because moon rules Cancer. So again, Cancer's at home. And this is an intuitive period where feelings act as sacred information rather than problems to be solved. I like that. Feelings act as sacred information. So, in other words, take stock of them. Where are they coming from? What are they trying to do for you? What are they trying to say to you? Instead of like, oh, I feel sad. I need to not feel sad. No, 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 no. Why do you feel sad? What is causing that? What is that attached to? And if you don't know how to put words to it, Google emotional wheel. The emotional wheel is so helpful because you look at sad and then you trace the sad down, and you can look at it and it's like sad is actually feeling disappointed, is actually feeling, whatever. So it helps you put words to what you're really feeling. Okay. So that said, let's get into what we're talking about here because it says here this is not just about setting goals, it's about setting and creating an emotional foundation to allow those goals to flourish. Okay? So this is, all of these fell on the table. One of these fell turned down, so we'll save that for last. The first thing that came out that I wanted to go with is this one. Okay. So this card being the first card here, it says, what feels heavy is what you refuse to release. Yes, friend asked me what my plan was to move out, and I said, no plan. We're just living and catching our breath and trying to save money. Yeah, that's the plan, But also, it's to make sure that you're in the right place. So this is the thing. I think one of the reasons communication between you spiritually, your higher self, etc., maybe missing something is, I think maybe change the question, because it says here, what feels heavy is what you refuse to release. So again, if we're going with the question that we heard today in the mediumship class, which is what's here for me to know, then I think asking that same kind of question for you is going to help you start unlocking what that is for you. What is the thing that is heavy, right? And then why isn't it being released? Like, what will it take to release it? But it's saying here, at least with this card, it's saying there's a choice here. And the choice could be, again, ignorance to it, or the choice could be just writing it off as not that important. Because a lot of the big things in our life starts with little things, things that we don't think are important, but in fact, those are the catalysts. You know, like when you think of a lighter, for instance, I just got this image, so I'm going to take this image. When you think of a lighter, you know, the lighter itself doesn't do anything, but the action and then the spark creates the flame, which then allows you to do things with that flame. That's what we need to realize, is that the action itself, while small, is big. It is the catalyst. It is the thing that is needed. But again, this is Mercury retrograde, so we are going to be intentionally thinking about what is this, right? Yeah. Yes. So the other thing too that came out, and this is actually on the bottom of this, and that is that wasn't love, it was reliance. So on one hand, I could probably say that does deal with a relationship, but I don't think it's a romantic relationship by itself. I think these are the relationships that you have clung to over the course of your life because you relied on them for whatever, either validation of who you are or validation of the negative things that people have said to you or you said to yourself, you know, because we do that. We seek to prove people right as much as we do to prove them wrong. So there's a clinging here to people, and it was a reliance on other people to tell you who you are versus you actually knowing. That's why we're getting to this big old age of like, okay, who the heck am I and what do I want, right? The other thing here, because this might be coming up as you talk or as you're listening, it says denial delays. It never protects. So this is really interesting because to deny is to not take action. In fact, it is to go in the opposite direction of purpose, in the opposite direction of calling, of life. You know, it just goes in the other way. But I'm trying to see what else this is trying to tell me. Denial delays. It never protects. I think the denial too comes in the form of the feeling of lack, is kind of how I'm getting it, about not following through on dreams, on ideas, on anything because there's a lack of time, lack of access, lack of platform. I think even it just feels like there's a lack here that's being used as an excuse, and it needs to be seen for what it actually is. It is you denying the whispers that you've been receiving. Because what I'm getting here is that Spirit has not been communicating with you in loud shouts. It's been literally whispers. And those nudgings and the thing of where you're like, is that me? Is this just something I want? And it's coming across as no, that wasn't just you. That was like, okay, girl, we over here. We're over here. Come on, come over here. But it's like, but I can't do that because I don't have this, or I can't do that because I don't have that. So that's the denial here. And again, the words here are denial delays. It never protects. So if we're talking money, money is currency. Currency has to flow. In order for it to come back to you, it also has to be released. Well, good seeds and good soil, but it still has to flow. It still has to be released. And the expectation needs to be, oh, it'll come back to me, right? So that's the currency of money. Time, it's like, okay, I'm going to take 10 minutes here. I'm going to take 5 minutes here. Those things, those actions, those moments you give to yourself, those things compound. So it's not just like, oh, this is nothing, this is minuscule. Raindrops fill a bucket. You know what I mean? So the other thing here is what felt safe was slowly suffocating you. So obviously we can't go back to our life because while sometimes misery is safe, while sometimes hustle, struggle is safe, while sometimes whatever it is safe, it still wasn't necessarily aligned or on the right path. So this is, it's just adding weight, adding burden to you. And then we have that door closed because it was never real. So this is an opportunity for you not to look back to think about what you want to go back to, but to look back for you to think about what you're going to carry forward. There is no return to where you were. There's only an alignment to where you're going, is what I'm getting with this particular reading itself is it's time for you to start looking forward. But first, you got to look around. So again, what are you going to carry forward into the life you want to live? But also, what are you going to put down? Because remember, the first card we started out with is there's something you got to release. All right. And then this card that came out is being overlooked taught you to shrink yourself first. So being overlooked taught you to shrink yourself first. I think this is pretty much self-explanatory, especially when we take it in account of the other cards here. And so again, patience is trust. So I think that's a message you need to carry forward as well, is that patience is trust. You're in a place of learning. And learning, it doesn't mean you're going to get it right right away. So, oh, perfect card to end on. I'm sorry, like I just got really dry throated. Okay, perfect card to end on. It says here, healing isn't gentle, it's honest. Sorry. Healing isn't gentle, it's honest. Okay? It's honest. And I think that's what you're being asked to do, is to look at yourself honestly in this particular new moon cycle. But again, it's going forward. And I will tell you the season that you're in, very simply stated, is these two words are the last things that I'm going to give you. And this is the first one, which is growth doesn't ask for permission. It just disrupts you, right? In order to grow, it has to push something out of the way. And sometimes that's our previous life. And then it says here, you asked for change, you just didn't expect the cost. So there you go, huns. Everything's burning up around you. That's good. It's a signal. It's a signal. You got to clear out the old in order to get the new. So that's your new moon, honeys. A giant band-aid head to toe. Oh, yeah. I'm glad that you're learning about the lies that you've believed about yourself. I think this one came right back out. Where it says, I didn't read it last time because I wasn't told to read it last time, but it came back out as we're talking about this. And it says, comparison distorted what was already enough. How about that? Comparison distorted what was already enough. And for where you are, uncertainty shattered the identity you clung to. So that is why you're learning who you are now. So just don't let it cut you. All right. Is there anyone else with a question? Again, this is for members and subscribers. So if you are a subscriber, we can do a yes/no question. If you are a member, then we can go into whatever this thing is telling you. So let this be a warning. Let this be a warning to you guys before we wrap this thing up here. It says, words left unsaid eventually turn into a burden. So again, do you have a question? Do you have a question? Girl, I don't know what week I'm in. I'm in a bad week. It seems like I'm just leaking all over the place with my eyes. I don't know. Sometimes it's not even mine. That's the thing. Sometimes it's not even mine. So I'm like, where is this coming from? So, okay. So like while I was in the mediumship class, and we're going to go back to that question here, where it says, what's here for me today to know? What I received for myself is, I'm here to do good work. I'm here to change lives. I'm here to be a beacon. And this one hurt a little bit. I'm not actually here for me. I'm here to stop resisting leadership, and I'm here to help others. So, oh man. Would you consider a new type of birthday reading? Oh, that's cool. I don't know. That's the most honest answer I can give you. Is I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm like, what does that entail? What is that? You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? I guess to get more clarity. What do you mean? What do you mean by a new type of birthday reading? Y'all, I'm really trying to be okay with moving to Tennessee. Oh my God. I'm trying so hard to be okay with it. Their schools are like some of the lowest in the country. Jesus. Yeah, what do you mean by that? And then we can get to it. Okay, so let's do a collective reading. Oh, I will say one more thing that Mel said to me as we get ready to do this collective, what am I doing for this collective reading? Okay, let me look into this again. So this is about okay, so this is in home, family, intuition, and emotional security. It invites people to begin from the inside out. Um, what we build externally is only as strong as what we cultivate internally. What do I want to create? Who do I need to become to create it? Okay, let's do that. Maybe sort of like an astrology solar reading. So like the New Year reading I gave, where it was 12 cards. Well, 13 cards, but 12 cards. Okay. Is that what you're talking about? All right. So we have, I want to concentrate on this, and I want you to concentrate on this question as well. I want you to think about and be honest with yourself right now. I really want you to think about, what do I want to create? Okay, here's the message. And who do I need to become to create it? What do I want to create, and who do I need to become to create it, as we get ready for our read? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've done that. It would be this. It would be the same thing. You just tell me specifically that's what it is. Okay, so we're gonna start here. It comes right back to this message of being overlooked taught you to shrink yourself first. I think this is what we're dealing with here collectively in our community, in our group, as a people. I really do think that's a big, big issue here. So we're going to talk about this as our new moon reading is this new moon in Cancer. We're going to be concentrating on what it was that taught us to shrink ourselves, and this one refused to go away. So I'm going to put this together too. And they kind of go hand in hand. So I'm definitely going to put these together. Being overlooked taught you to shrink yourself first, but the second card is silence proved you were never in control. If you didn't exercise your voice, didn't feel like you can exercise your voice, you reserved your voice because you didn't want to get into it, or you didn't want anybody to take anything a different kind of way or hurt anybody kind of feelings, if you just accepted things silently or passive aggressively, that means you weren't in control. And so in today's message, you are being dragged to the altar to put yourself first. So it says here, being overlooked taught you to shrink yourself first. So being overlooked taught you to shrink yourself, meaning people not seeing you or seeing past you taught you to feel like you were invisible. Thank you for the flower. And part of being invisible is staying silent. Because if someone's overlooking you, I mean, call them out, right? And this is definitely a good lesson for me, because I used to go, do people know who I am? You know, like they would, for instance, when I was doing online business and I would help people, And I was charging like little ass prices, like $99. At one point, I got up to $999, but I gave her 12 weeks of my life, you know? And I was just like, talk about undervaluing yourself. Meanwhile, they would then turn around, go to a different coach, pay them $10,000, $20,000, and then come back to me and ask me the question. And it's like, don't you have a coach? Yeah, but you know, I learned so much more than you, but you didn't pay me more. Well, I didn't ask more. So like I said, I used to feel bitter and be like, don't they know who I am? And one day I felt like God say to me, you can substitute spirit. And it was like, do you know who you are? And I think these cards here today for this new moon, it's July. We still have 5 more months of this month. I think it's time for you to answer that question. Do you know who you are? And if you don't, this is the journey. So one of the things to do is to consider, where have you been overlooked? Where do you show up small when you have more than enough to I would just say to shine, or to be the point person, depending on how this plays out in your life, that you have more than enough to be the person they go to, or you have enough to be the success you see other people having, even though they're mediocre in their own ways. And not, I won't say bragging about yourself, but not talking about the gift that you have and the people you're here to share it with. I think that in itself is shrinking. I'm definitely talking to myself here. So, one of the reasons people are in a reversal of life right now is a couple of things. We have a Queen of Pentacles right here. And this Queen of Pentacles is the opposite of who she's supposed to be because she's in the reverse. A Queen of Pentacles is a nurturer, is a person of abundance, a person of high value, high self-value. You see, she's holding that coin in her lap. It's hers. You know, she's not giving it away to anybody. So this is like knowing who she is, again, self-value, but this is also like creating abundance out of what she already possesses, is what I'm seeing here. Additionally, there's a rabbit at her feet. I think that goes with the abundance and the multiplication, because y'all know when rabbits get busy, they do things. I want to see what else, if they mention this rabbit in their book. Yeah, that's interesting. I was talking about business. So she is balanced between business and home. She is financially independent while still exuding nurturing energy for her loved ones. In the reverse, though, she turns inward, which can manifest selfish decisions or work-life imbalance. And it's saying, ask if you're doing things for the right reason. I think it's a little bit more than that here. I think this is just not actually valuing yourself. I think it's not seeing what you have within, especially because taking in account the energies that we're reading on here, I think this is more along the lines of what this Queen in Reverse is saying, is that you don't value yourself enough. And I think this is where we start to turn the tide, if we could start doing this. The other interesting thing here is the second card that hit the deck, hit the table, which is the Seven of Wands. Now, Seven of Wands is about like standing your ground, defending yourself, protecting, speaking up for yourself even, because wands are about messaging. Let me see if they have it differently in this particular book. Yeah, just challenges, defending your position. Ooh, it says trust in yourself. And so in the reverse, honey, we are not doing that. The challenges you're facing may leave you feeling defensive, overwhelmed, or defeated. Keep calm and ignore the hate and stay true to your path. Okay. So again, it comes right back to the trust. It comes right back to the trust. It comes right back to knowing who you are, learning how to value yourself. And if you're a person who doesn't, let me tell you, this is the best advice I ever heard. And when I applied it to my own life, and I need to do it again, but when I applied it to my own life, I remember like hearing myself speak about me, about myself, going, oh, what the heck? Oh, you're that girl. Like, I was like, really? You're that girl, right? Because I was doing a webinar training and I wrote about myself in the beginning because that's what you're supposed to do with those slides. And when I heard what I was doing and who I was like, you know what? I would pay you. Okay. Okay. We're that girl, right? But it took me a long time to get there. So the best advice I ever heard was to write your own resume, not for a job, but for your life. And it's like literally look at the things that you've accomplished, the things that you've overcome, the circumstances you thought would have taken you out or that have taken other people out. It's like really start looking at you as the badass you actually are because you're not gone whether you try to or not, because I've had a moment or two. The fact is, you're still here. You're still breathing. You still have things to do because as long as you have breath, you have purpose. And so, when you look back at your path, though, like this is part of the work that I do when I do, I don't know if I'm gonna get back to it, but I probably will because I think so many people still need it. Is like when I do the business coaching calls I walk them through their process of looking back at themselves, and it's about looking at the things that you've overcome. Like look at your experience. What are you really good at? And if you don't think you're good at anything, then fine. What do people tell you you're really good at? What lights you up? What brings you joy to do, to just learn, to just be in? What are the experiences that you've had? And some people feel like because they've experienced things that other people have experienced, that their own particular experience isn't important. But I often use the example of the fact that my very first trip to Paris, I was a teacher. And since I was leading a field trip, I was going for free. They were sending us for free to check out Paris. And so to see how one of their tours go. And so I'm on this plane. It's like 180 of us in this plane, I'm assuming, because there's a big plane. We were going from Miami to Paris. And we were leaving, I think, at night or something so that we would arrive there in the morning. People on the plane were sleeping. I would say the majority, 90% or more, of the plane was asleep because we were leaving overnight so that we would arrive fresh for Paris because Paris is forward, right? Like 5 or 6 hours. I wasn't asleep. And two very amazing things that have stayed with me for the last almost 20 years. One, I got to see a moonrise for the first time in my life. I don't know if I saw it ever again, really, but for the first time ever in my life. I grew up in Miami, so I've seen sunrises, but I've never seen a moonrise. And so, uh, thanks. Yeah, I taught for 15 years, but I spoke before that. Don't ask me about grammar because I was a teacher learning as I taught. Because I was like, what's the difference between you and me, you and I? When do you, like, listen, I was Googling. But anyway, so as we're flying to Paris, the moon is rising out of this bed of clouds. And so the clouds were as expansive as the ocean, like so above, so below. Like it looked like water and it has, and it was just beautiful. And then I just watched this gold orb, or this pale pearly orb start rising above it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a moonrise. And I was like looking around to see if anybody else had seen it. I was like, what? Nobody's seeing it, right? It was just life changing for me. And I'm going to tie this together in a second. The second thing that I saw as we were flying to Paris. This is the same flight. Hey, beautiful. As we're flying to Paris, the same flight. The sun has come up and everything. So now, because we're flying into the day instead of the night. So I looked down in the window. This is why I like window seats, because I like to see. So I looked down in the window and I saw a rainbow. We were flying over the rainbow. When they sang somewhere over the rainbow, it was me. I was the one. I was over the rainbow. I was in the plane over the rainbow. And it was so amazing. I'm a dork, but it was so amazing to me. And I'm just like, and everybody is like knocked the hell out. And I'm like, I saw a moonrise and I flew over a rainbow. Oh my God, my life has changed. So if I was to write about those experiences, they seem rather normal. Other people are on flights and stuff. I was on a flight with 180 people. They would have had the same experience if they were alert, paying attention, and excited about the trip they were taking instead of asleep, right? There's lessons right there. Two, I would have never been able to be over a rainbow or even to see this kind of moonrise if I was not going into a different place than I've ever been. If I was not in the air as opposed to on the ground. If I was not a person to say yes to opportunity, right? So when I teach people to look at their experiences, it's like, okay, what's the lesson in that experience? Because it didn't happen in a vacuum. Things occurred, whether you paid attention to it or not. You hear how excited I am about those experiences. But so when I talk about the lessons, I can talk about like how to be awake on the journey, to delight in surprises, to not be so worried about the destination, but actually pay attention to the journey that you're on, to get off the ground, like stop looking down. Well, I had to look down and see the rainbow, but it's like you have to get into a different space to experience something you've never experienced before. So I can sit here and list all these lessons about it. But one of the biggest things I get to take when I'm teaching people about how to look at their experiences is I was on an airplane with 180 other people. And I'm one of the only people who actually had both of those experiences on that same exact flight. So while you may experience a similar thing like other people experience, the way that you experience it, the way that you filter, the way that you feel about it is the way, is the way, is the lesson, is the thing that you get to teach somebody else. I love that get off the grind. Yeah, Susie, because honestly, I think life gets to be easy for you if you let it be. I truly do believe that. So when we talk about these two cards here, you guys, when we're talking about not being in your Queen of Pentacle bag, meaning valuing yourself, valuing your experiences, valuing your own knowledge, valuing who you are, or even knowing. And we talk about you not trusting in yourself. That's where we have this problem of, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know who I want to be. I don't know where I want to go with life. You got to trust that everything's going to work out the way that it's supposed to. You have to trust that the universe got you, period. Because one thing I do know, everything negative gets used for a purpose. It's not that there's a reason for everything. That I don't take. But I take that everything can be used for a reason. So to bring that home with our collective message here is there's a Seven of Pentacles here. And this Seven of Pentacles is this guy by a tree, right? And a tree, and I love that it's a tree and not a bush or a plant like the other one is in the regular things, because trees take more time. I got a lesson a couple of years ago, and I'm going to share it with you guys right now. Because I'm a person, I'm going to say that I'm jealous. I'm not a jealous person, per se. But I can get bitter. And I saw Mel Robbins. She did a video. And this is the first time I've ever come across her Instagram or whatever. And her video said, if you're looking at someone and you feel any animosity towards them, any anger, any jealousy, anything towards them, that's because they're reminding you of what you're not doing. So if you see somebody getting on a plane and going to a trip and you're like, ugh, they never have to work or whatever it is, you have to check yourself because there's something in you that needs to be paid attention to. Right. And so, like, if I saw people speaking, I'm like, I'm a good speaker. Why doesn't anybody reach out to me? Well, guess what? If I'm feeling that way about them speaking, that's because I'm not speaking. And if I'm not speaking and I feel that way about them speaking, that's because I know I'm called to speak in one way or another. Because, that's the other thing is sometimes things don't look the way you think they do. Like, for instance, being Oprah, I wanted my own show. Well, guess what I got right now? Y'all are on my own show. Thank you. Anyway, it's not produced or anything, but um, I get to talk to people and I love talking to people and asking them questions and stuff of that nature. That's why I hate talking one-sidedly. I hate talking one-sidedly. I prefer communication, conversation. But so that lesson there of if there's anything that is triggered in you, that trigger is often because it's a reminder of what you're not doing for your own life. So the lesson I got that I want to share with you as regarding the tree is, and I brought the Mel Robbins thing up because of this, is that some people are flowers. Some people are flowers, but some people are trees. Some people are passing. People get to go, ooh, ah. And some people are nurturers. Some people's legacies are meant to stay long after they're gone. Some people are to be ogled at, and some people are to provide sustenance. I received in one of my meditations that I'm a tree. I'm not a flower. So if I don't do the ooh ah, if I don't look the beauty part, if I don't do the cut creases and the lace wigs and all that stuff, I got to be fine with that. I can't hate on anybody who does that because one, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to. And two, and that's the other thing, be honest about what you're willing to do. I'm not willing to get all put together to do videos consistently. So yes, my growth is slower. I am the tree. But I know that the fruit, the seeds that I drop or that I produce, they feed people and they in turn feed other people and they in turn feed other people. So there are flowers and then there's trees. This Seven of Pentacles is saying that you forgot that, or maybe you didn't know that. But your harvest is on tree time, not flower time, not quick little plant time, not a 30-day tomato. But yours is like a mango tree. My dad's been very, very patient with his tree. One year it produced no fruit. The next year it produced 4 fruit. The next year it produced 2 fruit or something. And the fruit just wasn't tasty. This year, that fruit is abundant. And he's been able to share it now. Instead of before, he just mailed off 4 of the fruits to his mom because he's a mama's boy. She's 91 years old. So, but that's the example here, is that you have to remember you're a tree. Your growth is going to be slower, but your roots are going to be deeper, and your fruit is going to produce long after you're not able to. That's one of the things I want y'all to really embrace, especially if you're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, and it feels like, okay, now life gets to begin. Okay, it does. Because your tree needed to take time. And if you don't even feel yet ready to begin, well, cultivate the tree. Feed it, give it what it needs so that it will continue to grow. So when we get back to the themes here of being overlooked taught you to shrink yourself first, and silence proved you were never in control, this is about not honoring and respecting the seed that's within you that has been growing within you because you're not giving it what it needs. It needs fertile soil. It needs water. Sometimes those are tears, okay? And it needs patience, and it needs trust that it's going to get there. Trust that you're going to get there because, again, as long as you have breath, you have purpose. And this collective message for this new moon in Cancer is to remind you that there's so much more to you than you've actually given yourself credit for. And at this time, you've got to get very clear about those two questions. What do I want to create? Like, what do I want for the rest of my life? Or at least the next phase of my life? And who do I need to become to create it? And I'm going to add a third question because you got to be honest with yourself. Are you willing to become that? Because if the answer is no, then you don't want it and you need to get honest about what you actually want. Okay? Or think of what's another way I can get it. So that is our message here. Our message here is to find value within yourself and nurture that, and to trust yourself in your journey and to give yourself what you need. Because if you're feeling stuck, stagnant, your world has burnt down, you're no longer the success you used to be, or you're still the black sheep, or whatever that answer is, that's because we need to see ourselves as we really, 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 truly are. And if we don't know that yet, we got to get to know that. So write your resume, the things that you've overcome, the things that would have taken other people out, the things you thought you never get through, the things that that you're actually proud of. Be them small or be them big. The things that have excited you, like me going over the rainbow and or seeing the moon rise from the plane. I want you to consider those things. And then I want you to consider, what did they give you? What are the lessons? What were the feelings? What did you walk away with it? And what are you going to carry forward with you from there? So in this phase of my life, I don't know where I'm going. You know, I'm trying to trust what it is and what it looks like. I don't know why I'm signed up for another mediumship class, my third one. But I know that I'm following the nudges, and I trust that this path will unfold. And I hope you do the same. Follow your nudges and trust that the answer will come. Because I can promise you, if it was not going to be for you, or if it was not going to work for you, it would not. It would burn down. You would feel it in your body, in your soul. Like teaching, I did it for 15 years. 15 of those were not for me. And I mean that. Like the very first day I taught, I had a dream that I was supposed to be acting. I had no idea. And then I got to do it for a little while. But my autism side doesn't like auditioning. So it sucks. But anyway, so your body will respond. Your body will tell you. I developed high blood pressure. I gained weight. I got hives. I got migraines. I got anxiety problems. I had gastric problems because I was in a job that was not aligned with me. Every job like that has a timer. And when you go past that timer, the health issues follow you. So don't talk yourself into staying anywhere. Don't let fear keep you in a place that is not for you. But before you can take that leap, you've got to actually examine yourself. Who are you? What do you want? What's next? Listen, that timer will get you. So really quickly before we close this out, any subscribers have a yes/no question. Any members have a specific question. We'll let you ask one question each before we close this out. Because I'm going to actually get some sleep today. And then tomorrow we'll pick back up with the political. So I'm going to wait for a second, see if you have a question, say yes or something like that so that I know that I'm waiting for you to write out your question. So just say yes. And then you can write out your question. I just need to know if I'm waiting for anybody. Otherwise, I took my other medicine and I gotta go to the bathroom. So Lisa, is that a question for you though? Oh, you got what you needed? Okay. Perfect. All right, I'm trying to see if I'm waiting on anybody else. Um, but yeah, as far as the birthday reading, and Becky, you can just use my link if you're able to, and go through that. If you need a different way, I think you should be fine. But if you need a different way to pay for it, let me know. Because I think that uses Stripe. So Stripe, I think Stripe only does card or something. Okay, you got what you needed. Perfect. Okay, good. I like that. All right. See, I picked up on it. It's kind of something I needed too, anyway. But um, like I said, I prayed. I asked for Spirit to tell me where we're going, and I like it. So, y'all, the bathroom is calling me now since we are done, and I'm not waiting on any more questions. So I'm going to call it a good night, y'all, and then I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to try once again to come on before midnight. I am going to try. I promise you, I will try. But I just had a very, very, very busy day today. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow I got to come on early because I am doing election poll worker training on Thursday, and that's at 8:30 in the morning. So, yeah. I'm going to likely come on to do 10 to 12 like we're supposed to be doing. That way I can get some sleep and then go be bored out my mind. All right. So, I'll check my email. I don't normally check email, but I'll check my email. And I'm just terrible with email. Like, I taught for a while, and they used to inundate us with email so much that I started getting anxiety from it. So, like, I have an email account with almost like 100,000 emails. I hate email. I hate email. I hate text. I hate anything extra. Anyway. All right. Bye, y'all.